welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is January 31st, Friday, 2014. Finally, the last day of a very cold month. All officials in Georgia, in Atlanta in particular, are probably happy that it's the end of the month. There's a finger-pointing argument going on between the governor and, of all people, meteorologists. The governor is on the defensive, trying to explain why the city was besieged by a mere 2 inches of snow. You will recall approximately 9,000 school students had to remain, some of them 2 nights overnight, in school gymnasiums because buses couldn't get the students home. Hundreds of flights were canceled at Atlanta's Hartsfield International Airport. The highways, the interstates in particular, leading in and out of Atlanta are still littered with abandoned vehicles, this about 70 or so hours after the snow hit. The governor, Nathan Deal, blamed weather forecasters, saying he was caught off guard due to a changing forecast. He said at one point the only accumulating snow was expected to fall south of Atlanta. Forecasters erupted following those comments. The National Weather Service argued that the appropriate outlooks and warnings were released 2 days in advance. Atlanta had been devastated by an ice storm back in 2011 and vowed that they would never be caught again unprepared, but apparently they were. The governor's public announcement lamented, saying, if I had acted sooner, and I think we learned from that, and we'll learn from that for the next time, but if I had acted sooner, I would have been accused of crying wolf, because if we'd been wrong, we would have been on in here saying, do you know how many millions of dollars you cost the economies of the state and the city of Atlanta by shutting down businesses all over this city and state? Well, he has a point, but it's a point that you have to walk a fine line on. In the United Kingdom, the largest nuclear site in Europe is being operated on a reduced staffing level today after monitoring found higher than normal levels of radiation. The Sellafield nuclear reprocessing plant in northwestern England also includes 2 former nuclear plants that are being decommissioned. Plant operators are saying there's no harm to the general public. Big global broker Aon posted a 3% organic growth in overall broking revenues. However, mainly powered by a strong performance in their retail arm, Aon Risk Solutions, reinsurance organic revenue remained flat. Insured Chubb, which is based in New Jersey, estimates it will take losses of up to $200 million from the severe winter weather that struck the United States between January 3rd and January 8th this year. They note that those 2 declared catastrophes hit 19 states at the start of this month, but these numbers do not factor in any subsequent January weather emergencies. However, Chubb did very well. They ended up with a quarterly underwriting profit of $526 million. It's 12 times higher than the same period last year, which had been impacted by Superstorm Sandy. The performance brought operating profits for the year to a new record level of $8.03 a share. American Financial Group Company, which is based in Cincinnati, Ohio, and run by the Linder family, and also which owns Marketform Syndicate in London, had a pretty good year. They saw actually a pretty good fourth quarter. They saw net revenue jump from 61 million to 117 million. They also noticed, of all things, healthy pricing increases in their property and transportation business. Pricing increases. Off New Orleans today, the Coast Guard and Enven Energy Ventures are working to shut down a gas leak that is apparently being emitted from a rig, which is drilling in 262 feet of water, about 108 miles southwest of the city of Lafayette, Louisiana. Currently, there's no danger, there's no apparent environmental issue either. The gas is being vented off into the atmosphere. A new report by Ernst & Young that was mentioned in today's Bermuda Gazette in Hamilton said that a new wave of nations could provide a fresh source of business for the global reinsurance industry. They say that these countries, China, Hong Kong, Malaysia, and Indonesia, along with the United Arab Emirates and Turkey, offer the best prospects for the industry. They also note that in terms of risk, countries such as Poland and Morocco and Thailand are the most risky. Business interruption and supply chain risks are the top threats for businesses in the Asia-Pacific region. This is according to Allianz, the big European insurance company. They note that cyber and reputational loss perils are significantly moving up the global risk rankings and were new entrants among the top 10 Asia-Pacific risks. They also had a statistic that they found. They said that one of the big problems over there is a talent shortage, mainly due to an aging workforce. They said the real critical finding from our report is the interconnectivity between one risk and another. They said this interconnected nature of the most threatening risks magnify the potential impacts of each risk. A risk to one single company can have a large impact on the entire industry. Well, 21st century and globalization, that's the way things go. In the United States and in the northeastern section of the country and here in the New York, New Jersey area, at MetLife Stadium at 6:20 p.m. on Sunday, the National Football League Super Bowl will be played. There will be 80,000 people in attendance, several billion people watching on television, and the final weather forecast is in. It will be about 42 degrees. The National Football League is breathing a huge sigh of relief. There had been event contingency planning that might have triggered insurance payments because if the temperature had been too cold for the 80,000 people in the seats, they were considering possibly moving the game to Monday or to Saturday. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Have a good weekend, and we will see you Monday.